All right. I'm trying to see if the identification thing's working. Start off by saying hi to Dave, BNS FN Scale, Norfolk Western, Railroad Man, Dwight Curley, John, Schuylkill River Valley. Howdy, 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 guys. James Galton. I think I said hi to Dwight Curley. Jim Tedesco. How's it going tonight, buddy? There's Pappy from Tri Goglin. How's it going? Brian from the Iron Horse Route. Joe Rader, Black Rock Central. Do I miss anybody? Coming through. I'm going down through there. Martin Searsma. Norman Rowe. Good evening. Sparky 107. Anthony from Georgia Sunbelt. Let's see here. Anybody else? This thing jumps all of a sudden. And Jerry, Boxcar Jerry Satterelli. Wigwag Workshop. How's it going? Hey, what happened here? My engine stopped. Wonder why it stopped. That ain't good. Let's try this. Something come off over there. No, well, we'll just ignore that one tonight. So I ain't dealing with it. But I went and put the camera at a different angle so you could see the trains running. And then I turned out the overhead lights and just used the light over top of my desk. And I think it gives the right light and everything for seeing the layout. So hope you guys like that. Digger, how you doing? Denise Cross, my sister-in-law, she's in the house. How's it going? Hello, Chris. How's it going? Robert, the Flying Crow. How's it going, buddy? Anybody else that I missed there? Sorry I had to put my back to you for a second or two. But when I seen the train wasn't running, there's a reason. And I don't know why it's giving me fits there tonight. I'll have to check some things out a little closer on that one. So, Nathan DeLay, how you doing tonight, buddy? Good to see you in here. But anyhow, can you guys hear me all right? I got the air conditioner on. I probably could do without it if I had to. It's a little humid, but it isn't really that hot. But I noticed it was kind of stuffy. Ian, Lehigh River Subdivision, how you doing tonight? See you're in there. Audio is good, just so you can hear me good, so I can jabber for an hour. Try to entertain you guys. Digger Evans. Anyhow, Everybody still saying hi? There's a bunch of videos that came out from the On Track Tuesday guys. I know Tony had one yesterday. I put out one yesterday. Dave has a number of rail fanning videos, some great rail fanning videos. I don't know where he come up with all those. I know he has a job. You know, he had some pretty cool ones. So just trying to read some of the chat and see if I know Tony said he was supposed to be on tonight, but he was mistaken. I know it might have seemed kind of confusing because we had a fifth Tuesday last month, and he didn't make it in for the fifth Tuesday showing. That's the only thing I can figure, and he got a little confused with it, but it worked out. I had texted him and said, "Hey, you made a mistake." He said, "Oh, that'll give me more time to work on my layout." So he had a really good attitude about it. He kind of chuckled at it. So, yeah, Tony made a mistake. He'll be on next week, his usual time. He's always the second Tuesday. Okay. I couldn't hear my train. I don't have sound cards in them, in these engines. So I have to listen for the clackety clack. When I don't hear it, it just kind of makes me nervous. Okay, what happened? So, but you can see it's coming along pretty good there. Coming through the town. Ooh, as it goes through the crossing there. Yeah, I know he said he was on tonight, but in his video, but he made a mistake, So what can I say? If he'd have really wanted to been on tonight, I'd go for it. Don't matter. I know next week I can't do it because that's my every second Tuesday is my men's meeting at church where we get together, and I ain't missing that. Pedro Spicer, how you doing? So as we're all saying hello to each other and everything here, I'm going to throw some plugs in. Let me get over here. I have banners made up here. That's the address for the Teespring, the On Track Tuesday merchandise Teespring store. All proceeds are going to a charity, which we decided this charity is going to go to Redbird Tony for him to help him recover through his trouble right now and his hunt for a kidney, which I keep praying that he's going to find really quick here and have a miraculous recovery. So On Track Tuesday merchandise, and we also have my merchandise, which I'm also donating to the kitty. And on my site, you will also find Redbird Tony merchandise. So, and I think we're going to try to get together here me and the other guys and put all our merchandise on one site. That way you can, when you click on Track Tuesday, you can pick something from whoever's, which I think would be a cool idea. I think that's a real cool idea. I think it was one of the guys on here that brought it up. So, one of the guys in the chat. So I hope that, go back to comments. All right, Sparky got a Redbird Tony shirt. Way to go, buddy. Weatherman Harry, my little brother, he's in there. He's really my little brother, my younger brother. So I'm better looking now. We are a bunch of train nuts. Okay. So I gave out the merchandise plugs. And I'll keep the greetings going. As you can see the layout back there. I'm going to be working. I'm going to try to do in between working on Robert's stuff. Probably going to start a video tomorrow where I'm going to be working. I don't know if you can see here. Let me get something here to point with. I'm going to be working right here in this area, right here. From here over into here. And try to get the town a little bit more going. And I might even work a little bit in here and working on my crossing is the next spots that I plan on working on the layout and the way of scenery. So you want to look out for that video. Plus part 7 of the Alexandria passenger station build will be coming up. So keep your eyes out for those videos. If things go the way I want to tomorrow, well, I know I have to mow some grass, but if things go right, I'm going to do it. Wilmer, let me see here. Somebody asked me, Nathan's asking me a question here. Just curious, what's my opinion about Tyco trains, and do I have locomotives that are Tyco and have Tyco locomotives, ones that work well and ones that doesn't? I have some Tyco trains. None of them are DCC. They're all DC. But the ones that I have run fairly well, and they are what they are. So, but I do have some Tyco trains. So I have nothing against. I really don't have any brand that I dislike. If they run good, I love them. So I really don't have any brand. But now there's some brands that I think are just superior. Tyco is what it is. You know, it was an inexpensive brand, but it filled a need and it filled it well. So just like a lot of people don't care much for Bachmann, but I got no beef with Bachmann. In fact, I actually like Bachmann because for what they cost and what they are, they're awesome. So now if you're going to spend more money, then you get into like scale trains, Athearn Genesis, the real good Atlases, the Rapido, but they are a lot more expensive, and you pay for the quality that you're getting. So for what you pay for is what you get, and Tyco was excellent for what you paid for it. So that answered your question, I hope, there, Nathan. And I think I'm going to get ready here. I gave my layout update. Has anybody got some train shows coming up. They want to mention. I know I've seen a couple videos here. Some of the guys have been to some train shows. I know I don't think there's anything locally here that I know of coming. Hey, there's Roy, the Container Man. Hope you're feeling better, buddy. You back to work yet? CP368 Productions, how you doing tonight? Rail Artist, good to have you in here. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Some guys I know I didn't mention. So, we have 39 in here. Cool. Set up a DC team to run them, Nathan. Oh, goodness gracious. I don't ever see anybody trying to put a decoder in them. Although I have a couple I wouldn't mind putting a decoder in. You know, stuff that you just don't get in DCC, you know, that I have in DC. So you're back to work, but still coughing. That stinks. But if it's like coughs that I've had in the past, mine a lot was because of smoked. I used to smoke like a fiend. So when I got a cold, it was really bad. I'd cough even worse. And naturally, I couldn't put the cigarettes down. I slowed down, but I didn't put them down. So now I pay for it, the COPD. Although I haven't smoked now since 2014, so I'm doing pretty good. I don't miss it a bit. Not one bit. Hey, Chasco, how's it going tonight, my friend? Dwayne's Fork and Spoon, how you doing tonight, buddy? Charlie, my friend Charlie Hallman's in here. Good evening. So, my subject tonight that I want to really talk about, well, at least one of the subjects I want to talk about, it isn't Tyco trains. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't care as long as we talk trains. But is railroad magazines. I get Model Railroader and Railroad Model Craftsman is what I get delivered here to the house. Railroad Model Craftsman was a gift from Robert, a subscription, and I'll probably keep it going because I really like the magazine. Okay. Model Railroader, I just like the magazine. I like the articles, and I like the pictures. The how-tos. Some of these, the how-tos are just downright awesome on how to do something. Even if you don't use every step or every procedure that they tell you to, you usually get some ideas that will help you along with doing your layout, which I think is pretty cool. Some other magazines that I've read was Cowcatcher. Cowcatcher's a pretty cool magazine. It gets into more of the real trains and history and stuff like that, which I like history. So call me paranoid. I gotta check every little bit. Hey, Artie Zero's in the house. How's it going today, Artie? Yeah, there you go, Nathan. Said it, I couldn't said it better myself. All I care about is mainly running trains, scratch building, and I don't care if it's a low quality train. All I care about is it running good, and that's about it. That's his opinion. And I think there's a lot of us that share that opinion, Nathan. Uh, you know, I mean, everybody likes if you own a high quality engine, you like that high quality engine. But there's nothing wrong with having a low quality engine that you can just work the daylights out of it because you don't care if it burns up. Well, you care if it burns up, but you don't, you ain't going to be as upset as if that high quality one bites the big one. All right. I was trying to go back to some of the chat and see if I missed something. Been moving around, been moving too much to keep subscriptions. Well, that's sad, but container man. Okay, let me put this up. Let me read all this. Charlie says, he says, RMC was picked up by White River, and they're doing a pretty good job with it. What is RMC? What's White River? I lost. You're losing me there. So, Norfolk and Western Railroad man says he has bandanas. Sir Handrail from Thomas the Train. Okay. DES Media, how you doing? Going through. Lehigh says he likes all trains, all layouts, as long as you're being you. That's right. You're not claiming it to be something that it's not, and you're having fun. That's what it's all about, having fun. When I was a kid, if we didn't have a baseball bat, we went and found a good heavy stick or something, and sometimes we didn't even have a ball. We'd use a can or something to play baseball. So it wasn't because we was that poor. It was just too lazy to go hunt up the baseball and the bat. Okay, White River is a publisher. That's cool. And RMC, Railroad Model Craftsman, was bought up by White River. Well, I'll tell you what, I like their magazine. I really do. They do some pretty cool stuff. I want to show you something here. There is, let's see if I can get the camera to adjust here. Yeah. The complete blueprints for that hopper. So if you wanted to scratch build it, there you go, Nathan. Complete blueprints. You could scale that down. You got a scale rule. You could make that. I think it's pretty cool. I think that is so cool. When you put something like that in a magazine that everybody can do that, that's just wonderful. And I just think that is great. And there's a lot of these those 2-bay hoppers around here that they haul sand for the fracking industry. And they give a lot in here about how to scratch build buildings, in detail. I really like this magazine. Robert knew I would because that's why he bought it for me. I know it. You're a good man, Robert. So, yeah, Model Railroader used to have that in their magazines. Well, every once in a while they still have some good stuff in Model Railroader. You know, like I was looking here this article in this month on how to. I don't know. You can try to get it to where you can see it, but how you can take an old company house and make it look like something that was deserted and the roof's falling in and stuff, and really make a nice scene, nice, neat looking scene of a deserted building on your layout. And they had some really cool ideas that I didn't think of, and I think I'm going to probably try here eventually. So to make things look a little bit more realistic and that, I think that's cool as all get out. But I like scratch building and things like that. I think these magazines have a place in Model Railroad. I mean, and it's sad that you hear people saying, they ought to just fold up and go online. And speaking of online, how many of you guys actually have an online subscription? I know there's a couple online magazines they want you to buy that you only get it online. You can't buy a paperback of it. And HO Collector. Charlie says HO Collector and the Dispatcher Office. I've never, ever heard of either one of those magazines, ever. But if you knew Charlie, that's not unbelievable. Oh, wow. Oh, Heath. Oh, I don't do online. I'm subscribed to Indian Head Valley Railroad Tube channel. I'm not a magazine, no. But the online magazines, I'm trying to think of the one that Model Railroad Hobbyist. That's an online magazine, all online magazine. And I don't know. I'm not very good at reading articles like that on the phone when I can watch a video, if you know what I mean. Which they offer videos and how-to videos and stuff. But I still like these though, because you can go back and reference. You can go back and reference. I got every one that I've ever bought. I got every one of them. And some I didn't buy. Some of them was just given to me. I had my son gave me a bunch of old issues. I kept all of them, because there's so many articles that you can go back to, and I know I seen that in there, and I'll go through and start looking. I'll find it, and I get the little tip that I wanted to remember. All right, cool. HO collectors about what the title says, stories of development of the old HO, the dispatcher's office, relates to realistic operations, both very specific and aspects of the hobby. There it is. Pedro says he watches a lot of how-to videos, a lot. Seems the older he gets, the less he wants to read. And I agree with that to a point. The how-to videos are nice because, but what I've noticed in a lot of how-to videos, there's always some of the little tips that you just don't get. Now, articles, sometimes you have to read them I have to read them 3 or 4 times to get their point across, where I can watch a video and get it, just that quick. So. Yeah, I agree. That is one of the big beefs I have about it, Dwayne. They want you to pay for the videos when you can get hundreds of free ones on YouTube. But mark my words, YouTube's slowly working it there to where you're going to be paying for this service. You notice we keep getting less and less features for the freebies. They keep pushing the premium stuff on you. So just remember, you heard it first here. Uncle Wilmer says, I don't think this is going to last forever, the freebie stuff. I really don't. Yeah, Model Railroader got a thing going right now. I think it's $29 a year, Anthony. I think it's Model Railroader. Maybe it was the other one. I know I got one of them here. Yeah, $29.95. Sounds like Earl Schreiber. Here. $29.95. Want me to mail you one of them, Anthony? I'm sure if you go online, you'll find that same card. Oh, Robert. When YouTube starts charging to post videos, I'll be gone. Well, you'll get grandfathered in, I think. How's that? I'm already grandfathered in. I don't post any videos that only the paid followers can see. Anyone can see my videos. Wilmer, membership is only for badges and Christmas. Hey, whatever works for you guys, I don't do that. Hey, I'm here to have fun. and you're having fun. And that's what it's all about. I don't know. It took me forever to do a Teespring store because I felt guilty about asking anybody to buy my stuff, you know. But that's me. That's me, you know, and that's all I have to say about that. I just got my model railroader today, so you ought to be getting it. The Craftsman, I got this is last month. I haven't got the new one yet. This is, well, it says June 2022, but I got it last month, so I ought to be getting the new one, the July issue here soon. So, Anthony, Dave, how's it going? Crooked River and Eastern. Spent on content. Yeah, you got a point there, Charlie. You do. You definitely got a point. I just know I still like to look at the magazines. Call me old school, whatever. I still like the magazines, even though they're harder to find. You don't find them at the drugstore like you used to. You don't find them at the grocery store. You don't find very many magazines any other than the I call them the crap magazines that tell all the Hollywood gossip and that sort of stuff. I don't do that. But as far as the train magazines, I remember when I, clean up until I was in my 30s or 40s, we had businesses here in town that were just strictly magazine and newspaper. They sold penny candy and maybe some pop or something, but just their main sales was magazines, and they're gone. They're long gone. They're gone. Newspapers and things like that. There's hardly any newspapers left. I know, at least in this area. So. You're absolutely correct, Rail Artist. It's more of how I do it, not how to do it. I will not tell anybody this is the way you should do it. This is the way I do it. It works for me. Sometimes it don't work for me. But this is how I do it. Hey, there's Chris from Go Via Go Home. Good to have you in here tonight, buddy. Nathan says he thinks it's awesome that you can just go on to YouTube and you can find other people that haven't been on the magazines and they're still awesome. And that might not be on a magazine. And that is very true. We kind of changed the whole ball game with the YouTube stuff. Guys that never recognized or recognized now in the industry, in which and deservingly so, And ours too, buddy. And they don't even deliver to the house no more. If you want one, you have to go over town to the drugstore or something and buy one. they don't even deliver it to you no more. They'll put it in the mail and you'll get it like 3 days later. You know how the mail is. If you get it 3 days later, and then it looks like something that the cat had in the litter box for a while. I do that too. When I make a mistake, I ain't afraid to admit it and show it, or at least tell you about it. And that's part of the deal too. Because if I make a boo boo that I know it's bad, I want to tell it to my YouTube buddies to let them know not to do that. That doesn't work. At least it didn't work for me. Why, isn't that so true, Dave? You know, even the Pittsburgh paper, it's nothing like it used to be. I remember you'd get a Pittsburgh paper, or even a Greensburg, which is a smaller city yet. You get them, and there'd be 30, 40 pages of just classifieds, not to mention, all the news. Now there's nothing to them. Wigwag, where are you finding fine, upstanding citizens on here? Must be watching different channels than me. We're a bunch of model railroaders. You ask my neighbors, we're nuts. Yeah, I think so. I think YouTube has helped keep the hobby alive a lot more than what the magazines have. Magazines have been around for a long time. And I'm not saying that they hindered it, but YouTube has really helped the hobby along. I think it has. I ain't never. That's pretty cool. I know you see the old magazine, but I ain't never seen them for free. But uh, somebody's just trying to get rid of them. Probably when I die, somebody will throw mine in the garbage. I hate to say that, but that's probably the truth. And I'm getting a pretty nice collection. Don't take long when you figure 12 issues a year. I've been getting Model Railroader for 5 or 6 years. Plus, I got some old issues that was given to me from my son. So, God bless you, Digger. Fighting the fatigue at 1 a.m. in the morning. 1 a.m., you ain't going to see Wilmer. Not very likely, unless he's sick or something. You know, I agree with you to a point, but if they put a whole lot of DC in, you'd have people criticizing, saying, "Hey, this is the 21st century. You need to put more about DCC in it." So, I maybe what we need, or what they need, is a magazine that is dedicated to the DC guys. You ever think of that? That might be a good idea, huh? Let's Charlie put here. Often the issue with newsprint in modern day is the turnaround time. People generally have shorter attention spans. Good excuse for the reduction in kit building. Model railroaders. I prefer a kit, to be honest with you. But I'm old school. I'm just old. The school left a long time ago. Yeah, I understand, Artie. And you hate to throw them away. You really do, because there's some good stuff in there. Not today, I couldn't imagine, Norman. Nope. Yeah, shipping would be pretty ridiculous on shipping a collection to someone. You'd definitely have to come pick it up. You're seeing me right now, Digger. I'm seeing you right now. Just stay awake, brother. 1 a.m. I'd be done. I'd be toast. There ain't no way I'm standing up to watch a video at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'll watch the replay in the morning. Because as a young modeler trying to really get the old timers at the hobby shop to open up to me and explain and answer questions about making me feel dumb is hard to do. I have found, usually when I ask somebody in the hobby about something, they're more than happy, usually, to tell you or explain something. I know when a young person asks me about something, I get elated that they're interested in my hobby. And I'm usually all ready to talk, to get young people to the younger generation interested in it is so hard when you're competing with video screens and game consoles and stuff like that. It's hard to compete with that. It's hard to compete with the some of the other stuff like those hoverboards and drones. I mean, that's definitely out of my league. But I understand what you're saying, Dave. Raymond Anthony, 127 HO swap is one resource. eBay and train shows, of course, are more fun if you can go in on multiple tables with friends. Dealers will buy stuff, but expect more worth. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of eBay. I think I've expressed that opinion a few times, Charlie. I'm just not a big fan of eBay. Every time I've dealt with eBay, most of the time I got burnt, and that's the right way to put it. So they must have saw me coming. When I click on, there's a uh, big lollipop there, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Blames the gaming industry that the younger generations aren't interested in on. Though I am guilty of owning a Nintendo Switch. Oh my. Uh, I have a PlayStation. I think it's PlayStation 3. I think it is. When I got sick, my son-in-law gave me the PlayStation 3, a bunch of games. And when I first got it, I played with it and I thought, man, this is pretty cool. And I was all about it until my great grandchildren come over and I play against them and they make me look bad. And I thought to myself, well, then I tried practicing. And no matter how much I practiced, I wasn't as good as them kids. It's down there collecting dust. That's a good idea, David Z to G. You can always donate your old magazines to the model railroad clubs. Always fun to look over and get new and old ideas for layouts. That's pretty cool, as long as we'll take them. I disagree of kids being not interested in a hobby because I've been interested since I was born. Also, I have friends who are going through sixth grade and the same thing were born into it. Nathan, I agree with you too, because there are some young people that just naturally get into it, but it's more the other way though. You're the kind of an exception to the rule there, buddy. Charlie, I got a question for you, Charlie. Where are you finding these magazines? I've never heard of some of these virtual model railroading, rolling line, and train sim. I've never heard of these. I'm glad you're on here, Pappy, and Dave from Crooked River, and Charlie. Charlie, we'll have to get together and you can let me know what weekends you want to do the thing coming down here, and I'll take you over to Mr. Garlic's and do some rail fanning and stuff down this way. Do a get together. Dwayne, he said he wanted to get on in on. I already talked to Mr. Garlic. He said we can come down. We can have just do a regular op session. And if Charlie wants to come down, we'll put him in as yard man. That way we got somebody to harass. And it'll be a lot of fun. So just, you need to get a hold of me. You guys have my email. Dave knows how to get a hold of me. Text. Give me a phone call. You know, if you got my number, give me a call. It don't matter. I'll answer. And let me know. So just let me know what weekend you guys want to come in from Ohio, and we get with Dwayne, and we'll do it on a Saturday, and just we'll have a good time. We'll have a good time. I already talked to Dave about it. He said, yeah, he'd be all for it. He said, we'll have to see if we can get Charlie down here to run the yard. That way we can give somebody a hard time like we like to do. Charlie's our yard man. He's a good yard man. We give him a hard time. Robert, you're more than welcome to come. I told you. You know? There you go. I know you'd have fun. So. Even Anthony, Georgia Sunbelt. I know it's a little further for you. You're coming up from Maryland, but you come up 68 and get off at Morgantown and come up 119, 43 and 119. It'll bring you almost straight to my house. So we're going to probably meet in Connellsville anyhow. So. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, Southwest PA Rail Artist. So, West by God, Virginia. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's my second favorite place in the world. I really like this area, especially you get up in the mountains. You get up in the mountains, it's just awesome. Up north's nice. Up north in western Pennsylvania. Even central Pennsylvania, north central. That's beautiful up in there. I love getting into the woods. And then you get into West Virginia, it's just, there's not too many spots that just downright beautiful in West Virginia. That's the truth. That's just the way I feel about it. Oh man, it's 7:59. Where'd the night go? Man, that went by quick. My granddaughter is an assistant while at train shows. At 13, she knows quite a bit about model trains, getting good at selling them. The rest of my grandchildren just love to be involved. Well, that's cool, man. That is really cool. Way to go, John. Wish my grandkids are good with it for a little while. Especially if I can show them something and keeps their interest going, they're good. And then something sidetracks them and they're off. But they're young yet, you know. Arkansas has no straight roads, and neither does West Virginia. Container man. Neither does West Virginia. I had roads, buddy, when I was driving that I actually saw my own tail lights going around the mountain. I'm telling you. I'm sure Dwayne can tell you that too. All right, guys. I think we're going to wrap this up for tonight. You can go over and check out Heath after this. I think he's got one going tonight. He usually likes to do one right after we're done. So I think I'll call this a wrap for tonight. And I thank you for joining me. I hope I didn't bore you any. And I just want to say, wow, you guys are great. You really are. I enjoy doing this. This is fun. I know it's only once a month that I do it, but it's a lot of fun. So thank you for joining me, and may the Lord's Jesus shine upon you and just give you peace and bless you, each and every one of you. You have a good evening, good week, and a good month. Redbird Tony next week. Tune in for him. We'll see you next month. Yeah, we don't have 5 this month. So, bye now.